See, so far we are discussing user-defined functions. Okay, functions, user-defined functions. So today we are going to discuss about recursion. Okay, recursion concept in function. So recursion means we know what is a function. There will be a main program. In the main program, you will be calling the user-defined functions. You will pass some input arguments. The function will calculate something and it will return to the main program. Recursion in the sense the function calls itself. Okay, function calls itself to get the final output. Okay, the function calls itself until certain conditions are met. The function calls itself. Okay, this is actually called recursion. So through examples, I just want to explain this recursion. So let me take the first example. First example is total the values. Okay, so I'm going to construct a function. This is the function name, user defined function name. So read and total. Okay, I'm going to construct a function read and total. Okay, what this function will do, this function reads the values from the user. Okay, I'm just writing the question here. Reads the values from the user. Okay, until a blank line is entered. If you remember, we might have solved similar type of problems. We have solved a similar type of problems when we are discussing about while loop. Here the restriction is you should not use any loops. Okay, I'll write that. Okay, we should not use any loops. We have to solve the problem using recursion. Solve the problem using recursion. Okay, we should not use any loop. We have to solve the problem using recursion. This particular function should read the input from the user. It should keep on reading until the user enters a blank line. Okay, that's the int. So if there is a blank line, then the recursion should stop. Okay, that is the int. So you know that since we are going to read the input from the user, I'm going to use input function. Okay, suppose first itself, at the first input itself, blank line, then the program, okay, will not work. Okay, just to avoid that situation, if the user enters a blank line, okay, for the first instant itself, first value is a blank line. Okay, since the user has not entered any input, so it has to return the total as 0. Okay, the function has to return total 0. So the function should read the values from the user. Using recursion, it has to add all the values until a blank line is entered. When the blank line is entered, the program has to display the result. Okay, it has to add everything and it has to display the result. Okay, this is what the question is. Let me explain the program and again I will come back to the slides and I will explain the concept. Okay, let me go for my spider. Okay, this function is total the values. This particular program is total the values. Okay, I'm going to create a function, user defined function, read and total. Okay, read and total. Very important point I forgot to mention. The function, sir, no input argument is, yes. Sir, just a minute. Okay, one important point I forgot to say. No input argument is passed to the program function. Okay, I'm just writing that point here. No input argument, okay, is passed to the function. Just a minute. Okay, is it audible now? Yeah, there is a disconnection. So no input argument is passed to the function. Okay, no input argument is passed to the function. Okay, so let me create a function. Define is the keyword to generate the function. Read and total is the function name. Okay, then bracket, colon. Now within the function I'm going to read the input. Okay, input, enter a number. Okay, enter a number. Blank to fit. Okay, enter a number. So this is just a remark. Okay, whenever okay, this line will come, so the user will understand. So if you want to stop the program, then you have to enter a blank. Okay, that means no input. That time the program will stop. Okay, this is okay. Then I'm just going for a if-else statement. If this line is empty string, okay, if it is a empty string, we know that we have to return 0, because sometimes, okay, the user first input itself, it can be a blank. Okay, so no input is entered, so if you add everything, that means it has to return 0. That is the reason we have included this if else condition. If line double equal to that means if line is empty string, then it has to return 0. Otherwise is it audible? I'm getting some disconnection.
Yes, sir, now it's audible.
Yeah. So if, then else. Okay, see now what I have to do. You know that whenever you are using input method, the input is by default the entered input is in string format. Okay, so let me go for casting. I'm just converting the input line into a float. Then I'm just using the recursion concept. So within the function read and total, I'm again calling the function, same function, read and total. So we have to use the same letters because in between I used capital letter. So you have to use the same thing. That's it. Okay. Function is defined. And within that, I'm just getting the input. Then some if else statement. If the line is empty string, then it has to return 0. Otherwise, it has to return float. Okay, so suppose if the user has entered 30, okay, that will be 30 with a double quote, within double quotes or single quotes, that is in string format. Now it has converted to float. Okay, then the program has to recursively go for the next input. Okay, that is the reason again within the function I am calling the program. The program is ready. Now outside the function, okay, let me call the program total is equal to, I'll use the same name. As I said earlier, we are not going to pass, okay, we are not going to pass any input arguments to the function. The total of all these values, okay, the total of all these values is total. So just this is just a printing statement. So this total will call the function, then the function will recursively call. Whenever it is recursively called, you can get this statement because that input we have given within the function. Okay, so let us try. I want to add 10, 20, 30 and 40. Okay, then I'm going to enter a blank line. Let me execute the code. Syntax error. Okay, line. Okay, here it should be double equal to. Okay, I have used assignment earlier. It's wrong. Actually, it should be double equal to. And now, first input, let me enter 10. Second input, let me enter 20. Third input, let me enter 30. Fourth one, let me enter 40. Then I'm not entering anything. You just see all these are added. 10, 20, it's 30, 30 plus 30, 60, 60 plus 40, 100. So it has given the value 100. See now I'll just go for, okay, I'm just using the same thing. This is the function I have created. So what happens? So the function is executed for the first time. So it is asking the input. Okay, whenever the function is called, it is asking for the input. So first time I'm entering the input 10. It is in string format. That is not equal to, that is not empty string. Okay, that is not empty string. So what happens? It goes for the else part. So it is something like it has to return float of this 10 is 10, 10.0. If you want, you can write 10.0 plus, okay, it is calling the function read and total. So when the function is called, it again goes for the function. It again goes for the function. Okay, so it is asking for the new input. This time I'm entering 20. So again, it is not an empty string. It is not returning 0. It goes for the else part. So 20 is converted into float. It is 20.0 plus the same function. Okay, read and total. The function is called again. Then next time, I'm just writing here. Third time the input is 30. So again 30 is not an empty string, so 30.0 plus read and total. It calls the function. Now I have entered 40 as the input. So 40 is not an empty string. So it is returning 40 plus 0 plus the function. This time I have entered, okay, a blank. That means empty string, no input. So what happens whenever I have entered a blank line, it goes for the if statement. The if statement is true. This will return 0. This particular function will return 0. So this function is returning 0. So 40.0 plus 0, it is again 40.0. So this particular function returns 40.0. So this is calculated. This is actually 70.0. This function is returning 70.0. Okay. So 70 plus 20.0, it is 90.0. This function is returning 90.0. Already there is a 10. So 90 plus 10, the final output we are getting 100.0. So this is how recursion works. Okay. If you notice, in order to execute this particular task, the function calls itself. Okay. In order to execute this particular task, the function calls itself. Okay. Let me go for the special case. For example, first time instant itself, I'm just executing blank. So just see, it is executing 0. We can also test with other inputs. Say for example, I'm just giving 1000, next time 2000, third time 3000, then 4000, okay, then 5000, then blank. So it is 15,000. Okay.